everybody. Hello. Oh, my knee just popped. We're just getting started. I have the Nutcracker going on in the background. I think it's like an hour and 30 minutes long. This one, I've never seen it before. It has 100 million views. 1.8 million views on it. If you were curious what version of it I'm watching, I will share it in the description. But yeah, it says they're in New York or something like that. The Nutcracker. I try to see it every year. Thankfully, I have a friend that's in a ballet, so he's usually the king, and he will invite me to go. It's still early in the year, so if you are not familiar with productions, usually waiting to the last show is the best, because everybody's had a chance to practice. Oh, really? See, this is the influence that I'm talking about. Everybody has a chance to practice, and you basically just get better over time. But I will say, I don't like to peek. I don't like to peek because I like to be surprised. Like with most shows, if you haven't noticed, when the actors change, things change. If the director, whatever the production is, happens, you can change the dance moves. You can change the costumes. You can change the lights. You can change the stage. You can change the location. You can change the ages. You can change whether or not they're people. They could all be creatures, and then you get into things like Pixar, which is the best universe in Disney, in my opinion. But this one looks pretty good so far. It is always like one of those things where it's like a story that's retold over and over again by different cultures. But ballet is a contemporary type of dance. And so it's also a very like hard skill. And when I talk about flexibility, being flexible, like that's the type of flexibility that you don't just have. Like you have to work and train to be able to do the things that they do. So it's pretty cool, especially if you look at me and how I stretch, and you're like, oh wow, yeah. Standing on your tippy toe with your foot pulled all the way up above your head and spinning in a circle more times than I can spin with my eyes open on both feet. It's kind of crazy. But it's all relative, right? We're all seeing different things when we look in one direction. Think of ballet as like the original flash mob. The original TikTokers. It is not currently raining, and that's a good thing. My plan is to stretch out my back a lot because my back has been feeling really tight. My door has been getting harassed again. It's getting so old today. Honestly, if you could just stop. Something about spinning around in a pretty dress. Oh my god. I had to do costumes. I got to do costumes for Alice in Wonderland one year. It's like a costumes prop advisor for middle schools. Nothing crazy, nothing worth. We didn't have money. We'll just say that. But creativity when it comes to costumes. I think now that I'm gonna have a second room that's not on a whole other floor, I'm probably gonna get back into doing like sewing stuff. Cause honestly, like the most annoying part about everything is it's all spread out. I have to go downstairs to find the open space, right? But I store all my sewing stuff upstairs. It's like I'm not bringing my table down here because then I'm not gonna have space to work. To do my movements. Oh my gosh, my neck. I'm gonna have to do it more. That was a good warm up on my neck. I hope you did that one. Oh. I have not seen Hamilton. Very like. I'm not to say that like I could never be the type of person that goes to see, you know, a production like straight when it gets out. Like I'm not that type of person, but obviously if you were able to see it with the original, like that's crazy. So I think today I was going to talk about why I'm not quitting my job and why this is bigger than what people might think it might seem like. Because on the surface, if you've been paying attention just for the last month, then you know that, so there's been attempts at my safety. I don't want to say at my life because I really hope that we haven't gotten to that point in the world where we're trying to like literally kill innocent people for some coins. But on a larger scale of things, I have a very specific type of career that a lot of people seek after they find out it exists. But the problem with that is a lot of times people don't find out that it exists until they are put in a situation where they're looking for the wrong things. And teaching, for example, is one of those positions where the sooner you decide you want to be a teacher, the more impact you can have because you can teach for a longer period of time through a different set of lenses, right? Like being a student, you always look at a teacher and you think, I like this teacher because of this, I don't like this teacher because of that. And you have that information fresh in your head. So if you go straight away into school, and when you are actively thinking about your own teachers, and you have that experience, you've just gotten out of school, you see how things are transitioning, what was working, what they were lacking, where the gap needs to be bridged, right? Key thing, where the gap needs to be bridged. You joined school during that time because that information is very malleable. Now, that is what I did. Not to say that you can't start teaching whatever you want. That's fine. But again, the soft spot with teaching is being able to see what needs to come in as it's being ushered in, and not try to zoom out and say, now that I know that there's this type of information in this type of community, I would like to harness the ability to control that. Okay. So that's what I did. I went through, I went to a very diverse school. The school that I went to was the most diverse school in the nation, in the United States of America, which is a well-known country in the world. The most diverse school in the nation, and I was the class president of that school, so I had first-hand experience of what it's like to be in a very diverse community, in, no offense, a very well-known hub of companies, right? So I'm not just being groomed by my school, I'm being groomed by my environment. As I am going through school, I'm making those connections myself in that organic environment with a very specific position in the school. Now, I'm saying this because if you were to actually look at my resume and not think that I'm like somebody else that would just lie or glaze over something and just say, oh, I work in this field, and then have no actual credible work or connections. And I do mean connections because people say oh, I can just, once the contract is on the table, we'll send somebody in that's more professional, that we can puppeteer, that we can control, and then we'll have control of the contract, and all that matters is that our school is connected to this specific program. A person who has no actual vision or ability to grow a program that would be successful would think that way. But the person who builds that connection that you think is just a piece of paper is the reason why the thing started to make sense to begin with. Okay? So you take that person out of the equation, and then you say, I'm going to put someone that wants to be able to say that they're the head of this thing, and they make this connection, and yes, it sounds really cool. And I will say, I didn't even think about it this way, but you guys have taken me to this point. It does sound really cool to say I have a partnership with the Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. It does. But it also sounds really cool to say that I've worked for Boeing, I've worked for Microsoft more than once, in corporate, not at the freaking store. Not to say that's not a good thing, but there are certain connections in different countries that I have made personally. Check my emails to people I contact that make those titles what they mean in the real world, okay? Having worked in the aerospace industry, I worked for Boeing, but I also worked for the space industry. I went and listened on the very boring conversations of people that are literal rocket scientists. There are people that were on TV shows for Ancient Aliens and that shit, showing me how to use a coffee machine because I don't drink fucking coffee. Those are the interactions I was having in real life. Okay? So we talk about making a partnership with an airport, and then we bring someone in that says, well, I transferred to this state because I had this title under this person, and this person gave me this title because I was there. Maybe you work at a church out there. It does not apply right now. This has to do with understanding that inner workings of things that aren't allowed to be spoken about unless you are in a tinted studio, or certain. Do you know what a clean room legitimately looks like? Because I promise if you did, you wouldn't want somebody that doesn't want change out. That shit is boring. If you're still in there, you know. And it's just, The Seattle Public School District is supposed to have a contract. And I'm saying supposed to because I don't even know where it stands now. I'm not the type of petty person that says I hope that the contract didn't go through because I wasn't there, because it's an important contract. It's a really good program and it belongs to students, not to people that want to swindle their way into different positions within the airport. This is bigger than me, because people think that replacing me from a teaching position, mind you, I'm not trying to take someone's corporate position. I'm trying to maintain and foster relationships, connecting the right people to the right people. Because if you have a bunch of students that are speaking like 6 languages, working at the airport, things start to run a little smoother. Or maybe you didn't do the math on that. How are you going to be able to do that if you don't have somebody that people even want to be around because they don't trust you because you're a fucking skank? And I mean that with the utmost respect to anyone that takes that personally, because it has nothing to do with anything you think. It's just what you have. I feel like a lot of people are selfish, and they see what little piece of someone's life that they could benefit from, and they just see that one little thing, and they don't think about how many other people it's going to impact. But building out a career and technical education program is not a piece of paper. It's not, I have this person's email now, we have other couple people that have now spoken to them, so now we can just keep this thing going. It hasn't started yet, and you don't know what it could be because you weren't the person that was sent to that school with that particular experience to go through and understand where the connections are being made. I haven't been in a welding building since I found another I had to find a fucking bro, I hope you still have your job. I don't know what's going on. Yikes. Oh my gosh, you guys, the sabotage is on like the highest levels. Just to like take things from people. Just to take things from people. I need like a real lawyer. It's not like a toy lawyer. This is why I've been just going straight to Elon and the ethers, because like y'all think sending out a fucking post it means nothing, but it's evidence, bro. Did you know that there are several Boeing locations within my driving distance that are completely underground? And we use little cars alongside to go from place to place. And by we, I mean people that work there and have access to the cars. Can you imagine how much is underground that you have no idea is there? This asteroid mining company, and this asteroid mining company was literally like a block away from SpaceX, and every day I wanted to take a picture of the SpaceX building and be like, look, I work at SpaceX, and I held back because I didn't want anybody to know that I didn't in fact work at SpaceX. But that is where I learned how to do acrobatic yoga. There's this random group of people that would go out in the back at the end of the day or like on a rest day, and they would just start doing yoga, and they would be lifting each other up above their heads. And I was like, the fuck? When did we start doing cheerleading for lunch breaks? And that's how I got into acrobatic yoga. And I would name drop, but then motherfuckers would go look this motherfucker up, and he's I went and saw Dave Chappelle over the weekend. What day is today? Thursday. Never mind. I saw Dave Chappelle on Tuesday. My days are all messed up now because I thought that Tuesday felt like the Saturday that I needed in my life. And it really was probably the first time I've been out in a really long time. I can't remember the last time I was forced to stand in the line. That was disrespectful. Who does that? Like Seattle, we know what the weather is like and we know what it was supposed to be like. There should have been way more efficiency running through that building. I'm sorry, but there's nothing cute about saying that there's a line when you have people that have paid money and you know that you're putting people's health and property at risk. Like, that's all I'm saying. It's getting better. Fix the nutcracker. I don't know. I feel like if I were going to make a nutcracker, it would be totally different. Like, as in, like, the performance, the production. It would be sporky. Pixar in the house. But you know what I mean? You know how Sporky just came out of nowhere and they were just like, yo, let's just make it. We only got scraps now. Is that a piccolo? I will sit here and I will watch this entire thing in silence, and then I'll like randomly narrate to think that I'm saying something helpful, and then realize I'm just sounding very weird because it looks like I talk to myself. But I don't. I'm just trying to fill the space. So what time is it? How long have I been here? I don't know what time I started. I'm gonna do a few more leg stretches. I'm not gonna do any standing stretches right now. I have a lot of things I want to do, and I need to get carried away in this. I was about to get carried away in this just now. I think the best part about musicals is there are roles where people don't have to talk and they just have to like dress up as a soldier and no one like pretend to be a fucking tree and shit. Like that's so funny. We would do these things and I say we, I mean I did randomly. Nobody told me to do this. I had a kid that didn't like want to speak, or you know, you don't know what to do and you're just like, I don't fucking know, you don't want to say something dumb, so you just stay quiet. So I told them that they were the computer in the room, and now look at this. Now look at us. Remember to point your toes, and you to practice pointing toes. Even though it's not real, it's scary. Dead rat. That's at the end of Act 1. That's cool, right? It's just like a bed floating in black. This is in fact a kid's nightclub. I guess this is your church. That's okay. I'm not sad that it's a kid's nutcracker. I'm just like, okay. Never mind, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. I want to find a Bollywood nutcracker. Is that a thing? Is there a Bollywood nutcracker? I had to Google that. Oh my goodness. I have like butt cramp on this side, and I feel like all I want to do is keep pressing down until I get lower and lower and lower. But it's going to take me like an hour to get all the way down to my chest. And I want to do that, and I know if I try and do that, it's going to be a really boring stream. I know if I don't do that and I get up, I probably will lose my sensation to want to come back down and do it again. But I want to. Okay, I think I'll just stop here since we just hit what appears to be intermission. And that's going to be a good way to close it. So this is called the New York City Ballet 2011. And I hope that that doesn't get me any TOS or anything. I have to just want to be. Oh, it hasn't even been an hour. That's crazy. Well, now I just made it awkward. Yeah. Nah, I'm going to stop it anyway. I started late, and I apologize for that. I hopefully said that when I first started. My phone restarted and had like an update. And then my TV did the same thing. So, yeah, my electronics are electronicking. And yeah, I'll be back on Sunday for stretching. I'll see you guys then. Have a good weekend.